Good morning, everyone. This is James at Lock in the Value talking to you today. Now, um, there is a bit of news coming out of crypto.com. So they are swapping by November the CRO with MCO with CRO. So what that's going to provide is the same utility that MCO provides on Crow as well. This could lead to a fairly significant push in price action for Crow. I always like the project. I think it will push forward in terms of adoption and certainly help. Now, in terms of what I want to talk about today, I'm getting a little sick of seeing some YouTubers talking about a coin every day that is one of these low cap coins. Now, I have no issue with low cap coins, but a lot of the projects are going to die on their arse. There are some good projects there is no doubt about it, but a lot of them are crap, and a lot of them are not going to go anywhere. If I talk about a low cap coin, it's because I've researched it in depth, and I believe that it's going to have a significant pump, or I believe long term it's a good investment. Make no mistake, if you're investing in this market, you're an investor, you're not a gambler, and you're not trying to go, I'm going to make 100 times gains as quick as possible. You're trying to make steady, consistent gains and build wealth. That's what we're trying to do. I've talked about a couple of low cap coins. My Udemy course was a low cap coin, and it was in the 400s, and it's now in the top 200s, and it did a 3x since I did the course, and I'm still invested in that significantly, and I believe that's going to push on, especially with what's going to be coming out in the next month or two. So I'm still positive on that. And I will talk about a low cap coin here or there, but it will be when I've done thorough research and I really do believe that there's viability for this as a project and as an investment. But what I look at when I'm doing investments is not just the project and the team, which are necessities, but it's also what's happening in the space, what's happening in countries. I did a video yesterday talking about WazirX, because the India sort of space has not really been smashed yet, and partly down to legislation. But what we're looking at, and there's so many articles out there to have a look at in terms of. So firstly, by the way, in the second quarter of 2020, there's still only 50 million blockchain wallets out there, right? So in the scheme of things, 50 million out of 7 billion, everyone that's in this space are still massively early adopters compared to the rest of the world, hugely. And that bodes well for all of us, because all of us will, if we're in this space, we're in the space because we've invested in it, or at least we're looking to. Now, adoption by country is very, very interesting. This is an article by a guy called Igor Davidov, and that was at the end of last year in 2019. And he was just looking at how many proportions that owned cryptocurrencies around the world. Now, this was mostly based on respondents from surveys, but what you notice is the top 5, 6, 7 countries that where people owned cryptocurrencies were countries where there's economic issues, right? And what we've seen during this COVID crisis, we've seen America's adoption increase. That's why I believe we'll see India's adoption increase. And the economics and the situation in the world affects directly this space, because if it's seen as a sensible investment to safeguard your money when your fiat currency gets weak, that's how we approach things. But it's not just that. And it's not just this. There's so many things. But like the technology behind the technology that a country has. If we look at the most technologically advanced countries in the world, Japan is certainly number one. but India, China, Israel, United Kingdom, Russia, South Korea, Germany, Finland, US, Canada. Now, South Korea is hugely advanced technologically. You know, they have 5G on on their um, their train lines. Like in England, we can't get any internet connection on our train lines, but they have 5G. Like they are already very advanced in terms of technology, and those countries that are the most advanced have often been early adopters. Japan was hugely was pretty much the first country that really pushed on adoption. Um, South Korea is doing a lot. I mean, South Korea's largest network is Icon. And Icon is, I believe, I got it somewhere there. Icon is the eighth most utilized blockchain globally. And this was true of March this year. Um, but it's the most utilized in South Korea, already in an advanced technological country anyway. I see Icon being a great investment long term, hugely great investment long term, and I'm certainly positioned there. Um, And when we're looking at actually what's going to affect our choices, it's got to be on not just the project and the team, but the economics of the countries around that it's in and the competition as well. Don't forget, you know, I'm seeing, and I follow all loads of YouTubers and I watch loads of YouTubers, and I'm seeing people talking about projects um, where they're presenting a unique idea or as though this project is a unique idea, but it's already competition in the market that is far more advanced, and it is very possible these projects are just going to die on their ass. And it's really something I want people to be careful of because the low cap coins are a gamble. They're high risk, and they shouldn't be. Um, you shouldn't be going in hard on any low cap coin really, unless you've done every single bit of research. And I know it's nice when a YouTuber does it for you, but when you're talking about your own money, just be careful. Yeah. Because, you know, this is like 600 to 700, and you could put potentially $10 into any of these. And if they manage to hit $1 billion, you know, you've 100x. But the chances are slim. The chances are slim. We're certainly going to see in the next bull run at least 100 coins, I would think, that have a market cap of $1 billion, because last time there was about 50, I think at the peak 53 or 54, that had a market cap of $1 billion. And this market and this bull run, when it happens, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the line, is going to be far bigger than the previous one. But it's just about being sensible with your ideas. Now, if you want to comment and talk to me about local, I'll read into it, and if I like it, I'll talk about it. But I'm not going to talk about every low cap coin because I don't think there's value there. And realistically, you know, I don't like I think most of them are gonna collapse to some degree. There's 6,000 currencies on the market at the moment. So some of them are gonna die. Lots of them are gonna die. And people are gonna get burnt and there's gonna be scams. Now, if you're interested in a low cap coin and you think it's worth a look, comment and I will read it and I'll look into it, and I will either respond to you in the comment if it's shit, to be perfectly honest, and if it's good, then I'll make a video on it and talk about it if I think the project has legs. Um, but your investments, these investments right now, are for you to retire young, to have wealth. That's what we're all aiming for. And we're already, you know, you're in the space, so you're already ahead of everyone else. You know, only 50 million out of 7 billion people. Whatever context, like however you want to look at that, that is a very small proportion. So we are the early adopters. We just got to push on and make sensible decisions with our investments. Because I'm not going to do videos talking about 100x coins. You know, I don't think that there are going to be loads of them. There will be a few, no doubt. There always are. Um, but yeah, just uh, it's really more of a message. Just be careful about where you're investing. Remember, the bulk of your portfolio needs to be more stable, mostly stable. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, yeah. And then beyond that, then you can transition into all of the altcoins that you want to, and scale your investments. So you can go heavily into or heavier into Neo than say you would WePower, as an example. Okay, um, because Neo is an established altcoin, right? And scale your investments in that way, and it will minimize losses, and it will ensure that you leave this space in 2 years or 10 years with profits. Okay. Um, Check out the Udemy course because I do talk about a low cap coin that's not so low cap anymore, but still a very good project that will have a breakout again. I'm certain of that. Um, Check out, by the way, my Patreon group. So I've got a Patreon. If you join that, it's $5, and I'll make sure that we're messaging fairly regularly. It's $20, and I'll make sure we do have a phone call at least once a month, and we chat about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, that's it from me. Take care. Stay safe, guys. Bye.